Well, good morning. It's day 27, and I'm not wearing my cap, which means I'm headed over to the train station. I decided that an extra day of rest at least one day of rest would be good for me, and I'm just upping it by a day. I don't know that I need 2 days of rest. My stomach's actually doing quite a bit better. So I'm headed over to the train station and have a little trail magic story to tell you once I get there. The train station is just about 5 minutes down the road. There's a little path here that I can follow, and then I have to jump over to the other side of the road, but it clears up. It's not too busy all the time. But look at the sky today. It looks just gorgeous. So, goodbye to Kongsvold. This is the Musk Ox Trail. It begins and ends, it's a big loop, and it begins and ends right here at Kongsvold. So on my way to the train station here, I'm looking at signs. We have not seen any musk oxen on this trip yet. There are only 200 that live on this plateau, so but they generally tend to be in this area. So I'll keep my eyes open as I'm riding the train. Here's what I'm keeping my eyes open for. So how's this for a very quaint railroad station? This was built in 1921 in a neo-Baroque style, and I guess it was all the rage at that time because it had a water closet and some other amenities. The instructions are for you to go to the platform and make it obvious that you want them to stop. So if there's nobody on the platform, they don't stop. But I will have my pack and it will be obvious that I want them to stop. The trip to Oppdal is only 33 minutes, so it's just the next stop down, I believe. Sit outside to talk to you for a minute. First of all, it's not windy, and that makes a huge difference. And it's actually quite nice. It's chilly. I need something to break the cold barrier, but it's definitely not windy. I'm really kind of sorry that I'm not walking this next stage because it ends at a little place called Refusan, and it's a shelter that only has 4 beds, no electricity. You have to get your water from the river. It does have a gas stove and a solar panel to charge your phone, but it's first come, first serve. And so Greta and Frank and Andre, I'll tell you more about Frank and Andre in a minute, they all set off about 8:30 after breakfast, and it's a fairly long, challenging day. So I think it's about 13.5 miles, but there's a lot of climbing in it. Tomorrow, their trip from Refusan down to Oppdal is all downhill. It's also a long day, but it's downhill. So I'm cutting out those 2 walking stages, and I'm a little sorry to miss the rather primitive shelter, but we will end up at the Oppdal Tourist Hotel. I'll just be there a day earlier than they are. So here's my little trail magic story for you. Back on day 24, we were starting to leave the Buttesfjord historic farm and start the climb and up to the Dovrefjell plateau. And we made that climb up, and one of the first places that we had a chance to sit, there was a bench there. And so we took full advantage of that. That was the first day I was wearing that black ear warmer. And I didn't realize it until much later, but I lost an earbud. and of course it had been covered by the ear warmer. So maybe as I was adjusting the ear warmer, it came off, whatever. I don't know what happened to it, but I lost the earbud. And I thought, what are the chances of anybody finding that on this path, for one thing, and then knowing what to do with it for another? And so that was day 24. Well, this is day 27. So it's been a couple full days. Last night, I was sitting at the table for dinner with Greta and Freya and Frank. Frank is from Ireland, and he is someone that we have passed, and then he passes us, and then we pass him. You know, it kind of, we all sometimes stay in different places. And the four of us were sitting at the table talking, and he said, I was talking to a man from the Netherlands yesterday, and he asked me if I had lost this little earbud. And I said, you're kidding me. Was it black? And he said, yes, it was. Well, it turns out that man's name is Andre, and he found that earbud on the bench that we were sitting on just as we were relaxing from that first part of the climb up to the Dovrefjell plateau. And he'd carried it with him, and he had met Frank yesterday, and he had been asking around, does anybody know who owns this? Well, it turns out Andre was staying at the Kongsvold station the same night that we were. And when I got back to my room, he was actually sitting in the little kitchen area, and he had my earbud with him. Pretty amazing, isn't it? So now I've got a full set, and I use it as the microphone. I'm not using it now, but I use it as the microphone with one of my cameras. And so it's nice to have a full set. So that's my trail magic story for day 27. Time to hop on the train, get myself into Oppdal. It was a very pleasant half-hour journey. The Oppdal station, and my hotel is just around the corner. And here's my lodging for the night, the Oppdal Tourist Hotel. Looks like they're getting a facelift on the outside. And here we are in our room. Oh, very nice room. Skiing. And this is a quality hotel. And if we remember correctly, the quality hotel around Oslo that I went to had a huge breakfast. And so I think this will be a nice place to stay for a couple of days. So I guess that's a wrap on day 27. I'm missing my best hiking buddy here, but I'll leave you with a most gorgeous view from right by the Kongsvold rail station. Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.